Okay, so now we want to talk a little bit about how to navigate around your clips. This is something that's pretty important to do because if you don't understand how to look at the video that you're editing is a really hard thing to do. So let's start over here. And you remember we imported some raw video, some video we put into a bin called other video. We have our songs down here. Let's just go inside other video. This is some video from a film that was shot. This is one of our editing assignments you may get to see here before too long, called King Kong Lives. Anyway, so you remember if you double click any of these clips, you can just double click them or pull them up in here and they will appear up here in your player. So remember this little button right here on your player, if you just click it, it'll stop and start for you.
Take two, Mark.
You can also use your space bar to stop and start. Pretty simple. And here, if you don't want to just pause and stop and you want to go through very quickly, what you can do is what they call scrub around the video. And you can see your marker right here where your video is. It's your time marker. You can grab that and pull it around, or you can just click around in here and you can just jump. You don't have to necessarily grab it and pull it. You can just jump around inside your video. Now you have to be very careful to click where you see those little lines. You can't click above the line, that isn't going to work, or below it. You have to click right inside those little lines. At first that seems kind of crazy, but after a while it just becomes second nature and you don't even think about it. You can just kind of pull your marker around and you can see exactly what's inside your clip. So that's how you move around inside there. Now there's also a keyboard shortcut for moving around, a few of them. First of all, if you look down on your keyboard over by the right side, you'll see your up, down, left, right arrows. Your left arrow will move you backwards. Let's get to where you can see something here. Your left arrow will move you backwards one frame at a time. Typically there are 30 frames in a second. Sometimes there's 60, but typically like with this video there's 30 frames in 1 second. So you can move 1/30th of a second at a time like this. If you hit the right arrow, it moves forward 1/30th of a second at a time. So you can really fine tune how you're going to be editing. If you hold those arrow keys down, either the left or the right, you can see it will move in sort of a slow motion effect for you, so you can go front or backwards, frontwards or backwards, forwards or backwards, and with those arrow keys. Now there's also one other option here. By the way, the up arrow will take you to the first frame of that clip. The down arrow will take you to the very end of that clip. Okay, now you'll also see on your keyboard the J, K, and L buttons. These are really handy. Once you've kind of mastered editing a little bit, this is something that you really should take advantage of after a while. The J, K, L keys. You can see they're right next to each other on the keyboard. Now what happens here is if you put your three fingers, usually your left hand if you're a right-handed person, I like to put my left hand on the J, K, L keys and then put my right hand on the mouse. Now L is like a play button. Tap it and it plays. K is your stop button. So you hit L, K, L, K. Now J will take you in reverse. So you can see you've got all those options on your hand to go forward, stop, go backwards, forward, stop, backwards, all there. It's kind of like learning a video game. You have to get your brain used to, hitting those buttons like that. but that's pretty nice to use that once you get used to it. And you can also use it to fast forward. So the more you tap L, the faster it goes. You tap it once, it's regular speed. If you tap it again, it's going to go on fast forward. Tap it again, it's even faster. Tap it again, it's even faster. Same with reverse. If you tap it once, it's going to go the normal speed. Tap it again, it's faster. The more you tap it, the faster it's going to go. So that's how you work through that. Now, I don't know if I would worry too much about learning that until you've mastered video editing a little bit, but keep that in mind down the road. The J, K, and L are pretty handy once you get good at using them. Okay, so now that's how you navigate around with your raw video. Same thing. Let's pull a piece of this video down into your timeline now. So I'm going to just click on here and drag it down in here and release it. We'll talk about this a little bit later, some of what you see over here. But you'll notice in this window over here that I'm clicking on, this window is exactly like this window. So you see a play button over here. So now this is the project you're actually building, is what this represents. So you have a play, you can use your space bar, you can use your arrow keys to go left and right. If you wanted to go one frame at a time or hold it down, you can use your JLK keys to go forwards and backwards. And you can also, you'll see here, it has the little lines. You can scrub around in here if you wanted to just click and drag that around. And then also, you'll notice there's a blue line around this box because this is the area I have activated. If you click down in your timeline area, you'll see the blue line came down here. And you can actually scrub around down here. You can hit your space bar and move around. You can use your JKL keys down here to go forward and backwards, or you can just click in these little areas with the line. Once again, just like up here where you have the little lines, if you click around inside here, you can scrub around inside here, which is what you'll find yourself doing a lot as you get to building a project. So that's how that basically works. So get good at that, figure out how to do that, get used to clicking around where you need to click, get used to scrubbing around and figuring out a good way for you to navigate through your video, and editing will become much, much easier as you go along.